Let's get some prize picks in today, guys. Last night's picks went 3-3, so absolutely swept this Phoenix OKC game here, 3-0, and then the other picks went 0-3. So 3-3 day, not the greatest, not the best, but we'll get onto the board for today. I have 5 NBA props and 1 NBA first quarter prop, and I really like these. We're going to be going with some correlation pairs, and the first one is going to be one I mentioned in last night's video. I said I like to take Denny under 3.5 assists or over 3.5 assists, with Kuzma's over or under points. And I did mention in last night's video, I don't know if Denny's 3.5 assists ever popped up, but that did hit together last night on Kuzma and Denny. So we're going to go with it for today. Denny is juiced right here. I'll show you on the OddsJuice dashboard to about -122. So 55% likeness on his under to hit. We're not going to be taking his over in this case. We're going to grab his under 3.5 assists, and we're going to pair this with Kuzma's under 21.5 points. Now, I did check the game logs of these guys together. It hit in 6 out of 9 games. And this one sucks a bit. You could see when Denny did go under that 3.5, Kuzma did hit that 22. So right above that 21.5 that we're taking. So it's a bit unfortunate on that. But 6 out of 9 games is pretty good to see. So that's about 67-ish% that these guys did hit together. And we'll see tonight if it hits again, then you know that's a pretty good strong pairing to keep playing throughout the season. So I could show you guys in the most recent game that I talked about yesterday. Under 3.5 assists, also hit with Kuzma's. I believe his prop was set at 22.5 last night. So great to see that on that pairing. So that's going to be the first one we're going to go with. And the next one's going to be Jared Allen. I mean, he's recently come back from injury. He played about 4 games for Cleveland and missed the first 5. And he has been on a minutes restriction, but there is some juice here towards his over. So I'll show you on Jared Allen, -126, 56% likeness to go over that 10.5, which is always nice to see. And he is back. I'm hoping that maybe his minutes start to be less restricted. He has been playing around 28 minutes per game. I was checking his last season, minutes per game, and he's pretty much averaged around 32.6. So if we do see him get an extra 2-3 minutes, I think he'll crush it without the additional minutes. But I was checking the spreads here, and at -3, I do see a tight game versus this Sacramento team. So if he is getting more minutes, I do think they're going to want their center out there more often to, kind of combat Sabonis there. So that will help. And I do like the pairing with Darius Garland. So Darius Garland, I want to take him on the over 6.5 assists to sort of pair these two together. And again, I was checking this game log, and this hit in the past 4 games 3 times. So, I mean, they only played 4 games together. It hit 3 out of the 4 times. It's pretty good to see. We're going to see how it plays out throughout the season. But just for example here, when Darius went under that 6.5 assists, so did Allen go under that 10 points. Same here, when Darius went over 6.5 assists, so hit 7, Jared Allen did hit those 12 points. So all that in the past 4 games, they hit 3 times together. That's going to be 2 pairs I'm going with here. So I expect, at least one of these guys to hit together. So if Denny and Kuzma don't hit together, I think Allen and Garland will hit together at least. You're going to see the pairs should be pretty strong here. So that's going to be the first 4 picks. And the next one I'm going to go with is an NBA first quarter pick. There's one I really like here. It's DeMar DeRozan. So DeMar DeRozan at 4.5 points is too low, I think. I think this should be set at 5.5. And so the books, I'll show you on the NBA first quarter. I mean, the books have him at 5.5 points, juiced towards the under a bit. So 48% likeness to go over 5.5. But guys, it's first quarter, and 1 point is so crucial inside of a first quarter. I mean, we're getting at 4.5. And this, basically, we're depending on a 3 ball here. So in the recent games, when DeMar's pretty much shooting this 3, he's hitting it. And you can see in the past 3 games, he's hit that over 4.5, but not the 6. So that's why I really like it at 4.5, because the 5.5 is what it's at on sports books. We're getting at 4.5. Great there. I mean, you can see it hasn't been hitting too often, but I think it's a very strong pick. And as we saw with the Scotty Barnes pick a couple days ago, 1 3, 1 field goal gets you that 5. And we're just basically relying on DeMar to shoot a 3. And he has been shooting pretty much in the past games. So we're going to go with that as the 5th pick. And these NBA first quarter props have been doing pretty well. And to end it off, we're going to go with a push line on Julius Randle. We're going to grab him on the over 19 points. I would take this pick at 19.5. So I normally say don't take the picks if they're not what I give them at. But in this case, -118. So 54% likeness to go over to 19.5. We're getting him at 19. There's absolutely no reason this line should be set at 19. So we're going to go with that. Julius Randle over 19 points. And we have that push line. So it's going to be the entry. 2 correlated slips and then a very, very nice push line on Randle. We're going to lock this one in.